All right, not back to school camp. So trying to be too loud. I'm in a cabin in Oregon at this thing called Not Back to School Camp. It's like a camp for unschoolers. Um, this has been a really interesting week. Um, a good week. Kind of emotional, kind of fun, kind of a lot of stuff. It's kind of weird because right now, while I'm here, this is the first week I've been without Wi-Fi and completely off the grid in like 2 years since I started doing freelance web development. So I have not worked at all week, except for the fact that I'm working all the time at this camp. And right now, somewhere in North Carolina, there's a lawsuit being settled, or ended, or concluding, which I have no knowledge about, that is deciding what happens with the lighting company I'm involved with. If they lose, there will be no money to pay me out on the lawsuit that I won 2 months ago. If they win, there might be, depending on how much money they win, and who knows what's going on with that. But that's like going on in the world. I might have a couple clients that are frustrated that I'm not there right now. I've got one that sent me an angry message the day I was leaving. I've got another client who are actually like friends. It's a couple that like their site had some bugs in it that I had to leave. I couldn't quite fix, and I don't know. Being here has really made me think about a lot of things, like all the workshops and the things that they do with the unschoolers. Like I feel like a camper in my own way. Like when I go to these unschooling events, conferences, and all this, like I'm not a parent, so I'm not like thinking of how this applies to my child. I think of all this stuff as it applies to me. Another cool thing, I talked to my mom. She is going to drive cross country with me. So can't I'll be done with probably next Friday when I make another video. It probably will be the first day of a road trip cross country with my mom. So that's cool. Trying to figure out like next steps with everything. I got some ideas of what to do with comedy next. I did a comedy set here. It was my first time performing for teenagers, and I loved it. It was complicated of like, ooh, like what can I say? What can't I say? I feel like a little bit like I was walking on eggshells or something.
Hey
But
Margie, are you on walkie?
someone left their walkie-talkie here. Um,
12, 4.
um, but my mood's been mixed. At the beginning of the week I was feeling more depressed in the morning still. Now I don't feel really depressed, but I'm tired. I feel a little bit out of place here. I'm not a camper, though I relate to the campers. I'm on staff, but I'm the only staff member that hasn't been a camper here or worked here before, so I'm kind of like the odd man out, trying to be myself while trying to like have people like me and still like play the appropriate role of being an advisor here. Um, I'm really excited and nervous about the peer unschooling network. The more I'm here and the more I hear people talk, like they'd really benefit, I think, from having this digital community I helped build. And I'm nervous about the idea of coming off like I'm a salesman or like trying to persuade people to do something or sell them something or something like that. I just want to offer them like this digital community that I built. And in some ways, it's something that works only if lots of people participate. You can't have a community where there's just a few people. Like there's a seed that's needed. And yeah, like we have a certain number of people on the site already. But I really was traveling to places like California homeschool conference and here to Not Back to School camp to bring in that initial community members. And now I was at the homeschooling conference. We didn't really get any. I mean, actually, I haven't been online in a week, so like I don't really know what we got, but not too many. But here, like I'm hearing these people like pour their hearts out about wanting to have community and how when they leave this camp they're going to be home and they won't have all these people here and they're scared and they're some of them like they're 5 days in and they're still not feeling like they're making connections and they're worried like, oh my god, I got 2 days left, what do I do? And some of the older ones that are aging out of the program like they're like, oh my god, like this is my whole community and now I'm leaving. So I think that what I've built would benefit them. Um, and if it doesn't, then I don't know what, I'm kind of tired of building something people don't want to use. So I don't know what the next stages will be there, but I think it'll, like I keep telling everybody, you hope for the best, you fear the worst, and everything usually turns out pretty good. So that's what I will hope for here. I ran a panel on mental health, and like it was tough to see a lot of teens dealing with mental health problems. A lot of depression. There was some people that have dealt with hallucinations, psychosis, feeling like just bizarre and like their bodies and their brain is in another place, and a lot of serious challenges these young people feel, and they don't feel comfortable talking to their parents about it. Like they don't want to burden their parents with their problems. And sometimes the parents start lowering their expectations of what they expect, or hope for the child, and then the kid's like, my parents expect nothing from me. They think I'm just this kind of pathetic, depressed person who will never leave the house or the basement or something. So that was tough. And just being inspired by these kids. It's so inspiring to be around people like this. And that's what I get the most out of being around the unschoolers. I get inspired. Like I didn't have mentors and coaches that coached me on being like, I think I was like an unschooly adult after I checked off like high school, college. All right, now it's my turn. Now I get to make the rules. But I didn't have any mentors or coaches. And I didn't have other people I knew that were doing that type of thing. Being an entrepreneur, making things up as you went along, just doing the hustle, traveling around, and all the weird shit that I've been involved in. That, obviously these videos are related to mental health, so it's, the first time I got hospitalized was right after college, and I started my own company, and I kind of like came into this new persona or this new self identity as the adult Jim, or the man Jim, maybe. Yeah, all right, I gotta get breakfast.